This your boy in the back, aka Phenom NT316, going live with the Street Trilogy review, coming straight from Netflix, based upon the R.L. Stein movies. Now, I recently actually ended up finding out that these movies were based upon the R.L. Stein books, Fear Street collection. Didn't know that. I didn't know about those lineup of that series and stuff from R.L. Stein. More or less was more focused on the goosebumps and stuff at that age. But then after doing a little bit of research, found out the Fear Street collection was more teen focused. So let's start with Fear Street 1994, following a group of teens and everything. Starts off at the mall, sunny Shady Side Mall. That's where the first killings and stuff take place and stuff at. New killer, the mask face, skull face, whatever you want to call it, ends up shanking up a couple of people and stuff at the mall. Flash forward and everything, we got Dina, Sam, and rest of the cast and everything is primarily focused around Dina and Sam, two ex-lovers and everything. Sam ended up moving away from Shady Side and everything for a better life and everything, and due to her mother and everything, and left Dina and her friends and stuff to the side. Well, anyway, they end up awakening the curse, and the killers are now chasing after Sam. It follows the movie and everything. It follows Dina and her squad basically trying to save Sam, trying to keep her alive. And there's a lot of casualties and stuff, the war and stuff regarding that. There's a lot of people that end up dying and not making it. The head valedictorian and everything, cheerleader, that was actually my favorite person from the first movie. She ends up getting killed straight through the bread cutter. Shing, I'm talking about brain matter and everything everywhere. It was gross. But for some reason, I couldn't stop watching it. I went back and watched that scene I watched the movie like 2 or 3 times already. And it didn't get boring. One thing that I will say about the Fear Street movies, 1, 2, and 3, each movie literally picks up added on. Like each movie gets better. It's very rare that each movie from a franchise gets better. This is one of the trilogies that actually does so. So getting back into the movie and everything itself, they finally are able to supposedly stop the curse by stopping Sam's heart. Dina literally had to drown her in order to stop the heart. But that didn't break the curse. Comes to find out, Sam ends up getting possessed. And they finally meet one of the Berlin sisters. The Berlin sister that ended up surviving the events of 1978. They go to her for help. And during this movie, we actually get to find out the events of what happened in 1978. It follows the Berlin sisters, and they're at camp. Nurse Lane and everything, she attacks one of the Berlin sisters' boyfriends and everything because she states, she was like, hey, no matter what happens, no matter what goes on and everything, you're going to die tonight, and I can't save you. So she attacks him. Unknowing and stuff to the cast and stuff at that time is that his name was written on the wall to become the next serial killer. Oh my gosh. There is so much freaking bloodshed and gore and everything. He becomes the Axeman. I'm talking about taking out campers left and right, straight up, shink, 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 axing the whole skull and everything out. And the sun splitting the necks and stuff in half is absolutely gory and crazy. So, all right, cool. The oldest Berlin sister and everything ends up reuniting with her ex-best friend. They ended up falling out due to some events in the past where basically her oldest Berlin sister ended up snitching on her best friend and everything and casted them away in order to live better and everything and to be seen in a different light than a troublemaker and everything. She didn't want to be that stereotype. They're trapped at the bottom of the cave and everything. They're going around trying to escape. They end up discovering the journal and everything of Miss Lane and everything. So they figure, hey, if we unite Sarah Fear's hand with the body that the curse would end. The best friend don't make it. We make it to the end of the movie, and the Berlin sisters, they're surrounded by all of the killers. The oldest Berlin sister ends up taking at least 6 or 7 shots to the chest from the axe, man. It was graphic. It was gory. I was like, damn, my dude, you really didn't have to strike her that many times. But she did beat your ass throughout the movie, so I kind of understand the reason why you had that type of hostility and stuff to her. Because, yeah, she had basically beheaded this nigga, had chopped him, stabbed him. She was like, yo, I'm gonna survive. He got her in the end, though. The youngest Burley sister and everything, she ended up getting poked up, stabbed up. Her heart stopped. Ghost ended up disappearing. The killers. Good ends up resuscitating the younger Berlin sister, and then he tells them that, hey, she's actually the older Berlin sister. I don't necessarily know the reasons and stuff behind that, but that was the events in 1978. Going forward, we look back at 1666. Dina has now been transported and stuff to the past. She is living the events of 1666 as Sarah Fear. We're in a village. The pastor, Cyrus Miller, he's been acting a lot of strange. And Cyrus Miller is actually Sarah Fear's lover, father. Cyrus Miller became the very first killer under the curse and everything. He ended up chopping out, killing at least 12 kids, removing their eyes. He also removed his own eyes. Solomon Good ends up coming in, becoming the hero, stabs Cyrus Miller before he can kill Sarah Fear and everything, because Solomon Good, the first of the Good family, he actually loved Sarah Fear. He wanted to be with her and everything. Based upon that, the village basically go on a witch hunt and everything. They make it seem out that Cyrus Miller's daughter was a witch, that Sarah Fear was a witch. Basically, they needed somebody to blame and stuff for the events. They didn't use their best judgment. They used hate, anger, lack of understanding, basically ignorance and everything. And they ended up persecuting people, really in truth, that had nothing to do with the situation. So, we come to find out how Sarah Fear ended up losing her hand. Solomon Good was the one who actually invited the devil and stuff in. He summoned the devil, and so in order for him and his family and stuff to prosper, Sarah Fear is the only person who have discovered this. And the reality is, it's not her that's cursing the residents or cursing the town. It's the Goods. Each generation, a Good invokes the spirit of the devil, selects a killer to spread blood, and that way their family, their side can prosper and everything at the hands. Basically being spilled at the hand, the blood being spilled from the Shadyville. While Sunnyvale gets better, Shadyville goes to shit. Each generation, a Good summons the devil, selects a killer, goes on a rampage. It's been going on since 1666. Solomon Good was the reason behind Sarah Fear losing her hand, and then she was hung. Like, she got bodied for something that she had absolutely nothing to do with, but the villagers needed somebody to blame. This shit was crazy. Like, I felt a certain type of way about it. Like, it resonated and stuff with me. So, all right, cool. Dina and squad, along with the younger Berlin sister, ends up finding out the events, what led up to it. So now they got to figure out how they're going to end up getting rid of Sheriff Good once and for all, because they know now that in order for the curse and stuff to stop, he's got to die. Well, Dina ends up exacting the revenge and everything, ends up stabbing him. The curse and stuff is ended. It's just that a lot of bloodshed happened for one family and stuff to prosper at the expense of others. This is a 3-part trilogy movie. All 3 movies are great. I absolutely enjoyed it. 1990 started with 1994. Then we went to 1978. Then we went to 1666, the very beginning. I would give this trilogy a 9 out of 10. An unknown cast and everything for the most part. The cast and stuff were good. The acting was good. The punchlines, the jokes were they all resonated and everything. I've already went back and watched these movies within the past week at least 2 or 3 times, and I'm not bored with it. So if you're looking for a good series of stuff to check out Fear Street. Absolutely worth it. I'm positive that you guys will enjoy it. Well, this your boy Navek, aka Phenom NT316. About to log off. I hope that you guys ended up enjoying my review of the Fear Street Trilogy. If you haven't checked it out yet, you should do so. Fear Street Trilogy, presented by R.L. Stein, is now on Netflix. Check them out. I'll talk to you guys later. If you haven't already done so, follow me, Linktree/NavekT88. Much support would be appreciated. Thank you.